Hey, coffee in hand, Saturday morning. Hopefully you're tuned in here, right here in the show, and it is Saturday morning. Hopefully everybody has survived Thanksgiving. Ah, if that doesn't heat you up and cool you down at the same time. Yeah, we also just hanging out here on the channel and everything with everybody. So I do appreciate that always. We got a Saturday show going here. Yeah, if you caught the other earlier during the week, this is actually the first time you're getting back on here since the surprise of my mom showing up, which was totally like 100% total shocker. The telling me that I have a package being delivered from Amazon, and the driver getting out in my driveway saying, "Hey, I need help because I can't actually lift the package out of the back of the truck," or And I'm thinking to myself, why would uh, why would you take a job as a delivery person? Uh, that would be like me going back to work construction work, where my back would not be able to handle it. All right. Anyway, back with you. We're actually back. It is great to be back. Missed you guys. You guys watched last week's show. Actually, it was the show that was prepared for you that week, but everything just went crazy and did not get it uploaded. So, and big thank you for all currently right now where it stands 601 views to it. That's insane. That is crazy. That many people actually clicked on the video and watched it. We have a lot of comments here to read, which is awesome. Subscriber counts are going up on the channel. I really appreciate that. You guys have no idea how much it means to me to see many people subscribing, more people subscribing to the channel, coming around here and watching the content and everything. You have been definitely boosting the algorithm and everything for the channel and really helping us out here. So again, can't thank you enough. We're here for you. We do this for you. So thank you very much. I am very thankful for you, all of you. All right, here we go. Let's read some comments here. We have one here from Scott A.T. Yes, my 1917 production World War One Colt with saddle wear across the wood with nicks, dents, and almost no bluing left. That would be Scott's safe queen. If you didn't catch what we're talking about, we were talking about safe queens on the last show that we aired here. And so we asked everybody if those that wanted to chime in, what is your safe queen? So a lot of people did chime in. So that's pretty awesome. We have one here from Taco. Taco says, I have a Henry Golden Boy I'm saving for my kids to enjoy. That's pretty good. That's cool. Hopefully they will carry that on and cherish that rifle. Hey, my man Joe P. Swig of coffee for Joe. Joe, how's that cup? 10 years of having this cup coming up here, because this was in 2016 as we approach 2026. That cup is still here, man. It's still making many appearances on every show. I just talked to old Cody there. He's still kicking around. I told him, I said, you ought to come out here for a visit and do a couple shows and surprise everybody. Those of you that go way back to my other channel and everything, you definitely will be surprised. And I think a lot of you really liked tuning into those. All right. Joe says, I have mentioned this before, but I have one safe queen, and I love it. It's a Webley Price, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that price. That a distant relative on my dad's side bought for his wife while living in Japan in 1876. We know this because we have his diary. I will never shoot it, but love it as much as any other gun I own. That is pretty cool. In fact, you got paperwork and stuff like that that kind of documents it a little bit. That's pretty cool. Slim Fire, my man Slim here. Good morning, JW. Hope you're doing well. I am, and hope you are doing well yourself. that's a awesome safe queen you have. I love the 1911s. Also, I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving, and thanks for the show, Slim. You're very welcome for the show. Yeah, we got a pile of cool stuff here. Not 1911s, but some other cool stuff. Um, yeah, that is the that 1911 made its rounds around, and I remember when it came up around the sales circle. I knew I was like, I have to grab this thing because I really wanted it. It was it was just one that came around, and I just, you know what, I had to grab it, and I've had it for a little while now, and it's definitely one that's a safe queen. It's the only one I got that I will not fire. And kind of like some other people have mentioned, uh, if you can do this, which not too many of us have the opportunity to do it, I am, for one of the blessed few that was able to accomplish this. Um, have a second one that you do shoot, a duplicate of what you like, and I do on that 1911. I do have one that I shoot, and it's a different one. It's got definitely some scars and wear and tear on it. I don't shoot it often anymore. I haven't shot it in quite some time, but I do shoot it. All right. Jeffrey Richardson, good morning. Big sip of Joe, aka coffee. Great conversation about safe queens. Mine are commemoratives. Oh, that's pretty cool. Commemoratives. That's pretty awesome there. Like that. Sean Lee, good morning, y'all. Sitting here, coffee in hand on a Saturday morning, watching the show, looking in my safe, and I don't know if I have a safe queen. um, what I what I know is that you still have a nice collection and enjoy you sharing them. Thank you. I appreciate that. I still have a little bit of things that I've hung on to. Not a whole lot like I used to. There's a lot of stuff I did get rid of that I really, I wish I would have kept, but you know, different at the time when you get rid of stuff or trade stuff off, you always have a good reason to do it. You might kick yourself later and just realize, like, dang it, man, I really wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I would have kept that. It does. It happens to the best of us, and but yes, I'll I'll remember those that I got rid of. Some of them I do regret. I wish I would have hung on to them, but I mean, we can always search them back down and try to find them again. Maybe not the exact ones, well, rarely the exact ones, but sometimes you can track another one down and put them back in a stable. I did that with a Beretta 92. Sold my other Beretta 92. Always wish I hadn't. And then you know what, an opportunity, or just basically one day I got that just wild buzz to do it, and I said, I told my buddy, I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and buy a Beretta 92, and that's what we're going to do. So I went out and searched one out and found one at my buddy's place. So, all right. Hey, Bob Hartman. Man, Bob, that is so awesome to hear from you. I can't express how much joy I had to see a comment from you, my friend. You definitely go back with us for a long time, and because of you, I still and only use Ballistol. This is an exact type of can that you had sent me originally, just like this, and that was what started my whole deal with Ballistol. I'll never forget that. I really wanted to try it and never couldn't do it because I wasn't able to get it out where I was living at the time. And you kicked that off, man, and you got me my very first can of the stuff. And I remember starting to use it. And once I did, the more you use the stuff, the better it becomes. And nothing ever rusted for me living out there on the island. And so thank you so much. You've always been a great supporter of us, a great friend. You own some of my grips. I believe you did buy like one or two pairs from me. That was back in the early days when I really, wasn't, there was no way. I mean, I wasn't really selling anything, wasn't intending to. So thank you, and I appreciate seeing you again. Hello, Bat Jack. Yes, I have a Safe Queen. It's a Colt King Cobra, 5-inch, engraved. Wow. Wow. Um, Beautiful. Yeah, I bet that is beautiful. I also had a 1911 Repro World War One as well. Was holding it for my youngest son, who unfortunately passed away. I am sorry to hear that. That is rough. So I sold it. Bought it from my OCO that I served with in Nam. Thank you, and thank you for your service. Wow, that is cool. Yeah, I did. You know what? It's interesting. The one I got, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I got it from a Vietnam vet as well. So that is all. That also was a beautiful gun. Take care, bro, and you take care of yourself, Bob. So glad to see a comment from you, and on the channel and everything. And so thank you, and again, thank you for sending me ballast all, because that's basically exclusively what I use now. Here's some Roger. I have some really nice ones, but none that stay in the safe. All right. Hey, and you know what? I mean, mostly that's what I do. I like to just kind of shoot the stuff. Although I got one here to talk about. It's going to be kind of crazy story, I guess. Well, not really. Brett says, good choice for Safe Queen. The Colt M1911 Carbonia Blue would be my choice as well. I also missed them when they came out, and I never had seen one in the wild. Fingers crossed. Colt will reissue again one day. I agree with you on that. Colt should make that gun a standard offering, and that thing should be like $800-900. That's my opinion on that. Colt, I don't know why you won't do something like that. Quit making these darn things as limited runs and put it on as a standard item. Do the World War One and do the Colt World War Two, definitely, and put all the markings back on there, and parkerize the World War Two one gray and do the black finish on the World War One. I really wish they would do that. But it may be a long wait. My only semi-auto or semi-safe queen. I like the way you put that. A 1945 CMP Colt 1911A1. I don't shoot it often, very often, but thoroughly enjoy it when I do. Everything else is in the vault. Everything else in the vault is a shooter. Yeah, I do too. I like shooting those old war horses, man, and that's a good choice. I tell you, when those things were flopping around, I did not find. I got really lucky finding one, my very first one in the wild, and then the other ones, came across by just knowing people or whatever. But just to give you a tip out there, Brett, go to gunsinternational.com. They are floating around over there. You might want to ensure you have some money to spend, because they haven't gotten any cheaper. In fact, they've gotten a little bit more expensive. But they are floating around. I do see them quite often, actually. They're not entirely super rare, but they do come in spurts. Sometimes there's a plethora of them, and then sometimes there's only like one or two. All right. Hey, my man, gun enthusiast, my brother over there in Texas. Hey, brother, we do have some great barbecue in Texas, that's for sure. I definitely believe that. I'm sure at your house is no joke on the barbecue, man. You look like you grill up some mean ones. One of my favorite places to go is Terry Black's Barbecue. Me and my wife go to visit that place at least once a month. I appreciate the shout out anytime, man. Gun Enthusiast is one of the coolest channels out there. Another great one that he's been doing a lot of shorts lately, so check that out. And you and I both talked about this, so yeah, been having fun right now, just making YouTube shorts quick and easy. Speaking of safe queens, I have one now. I also had a short, got to 1 million views. Wow, pretty cool. My footage in a video, but someone else's sound. Interesting. Pretty cool though, but it's all for fun now. That's pretty cool. Gun enthusiast. 1 million views on a video. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot, man. All right. Pig Slayer. I have two safe queens. One is an original mint Colt Anaconda chambered in 45 Colt with a medium length barrel. The other is an unfired Costa Mesa original AR 180 serial number 2400 of apparently 5,000 ever made. Both are so rare there's zero for sale online, so I can't even begin to guess their value. That's crazy. That and Colt, there is some Colts out there that is like that. That is just hen's teeth, man. And that's when you know it's super insane because or in your case, what is this? A Costa Mesa original. I'm not as versed with the ARs and stuff like that, but I have a Colt one that's like a AR that's got all the original markings and stuff like that, and I've yet to see one of those out there. And it is one that they've made at some point, but yeah, I'm not sure what I've never even heard of what you got there, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, like you said, I mean, when you don't even see one out there on the wild or even on the listings, there you go. I mean, that tells you everything right there. 007, I have a lot of guns to shoot them all except one. I do have one safe queen. As a 007 Bond fanatic, my new in box unfired 67 German PPK in 7.65 millimeter was my holy grail. Once finally acquired it, it occupies a special spot in my Bond collection and is revered. I do have a well-used one to shoot and even occasionally carry it if I get tempted. You, sir, are very lucky. I would love to have a 67 PPK like that. That would have been definitely right in the Bond days, the Bond era. During all that, the Connery and the Roger Moore. I mean, I'm more of the Roger Moore fan because I grew up watching him more. I guess you could say that was my, he was more around throughout the 80s, although I would say my generation would probably have been more of like Pierce Brosnan. But I did watch more of Roger Moore, more, right? Pun intended. But I did grow up watching Roger Moore a lot more. Okay, we're going to stop saying that. Okay, KC Hussein, talking about baseball. All right. Anyway, appreciate everybody once again coming around, commenting, and everything like that. So what we got here, and we're going to go through everybody knows I love snub-nose revolvers. I've got one here that, we'll talk a little bit about that. But to bring them out again, because I've actually, we brought them out before. And this is kind of weird because at one point it used to be just straight Smith & Wessons for me. And my Smith & Wesson, my very first firearm I ever owned is this one right here. This is Smith & Wesson Model 10. We've talked about this. We brought it out. I think I mentioned a story on it and everything like that. So this is a 10-5. Why I bought this, and this is actually the original grips that it came with. I put them back on there because this is the original grips. So this was, I'll tell you the story of this thing right here. Living in Hawaii, now I have this thing about why I watched this movie called Witness with Harrison Ford. And he goes to live with the Amish folks, and he's got his, this is what he's carrying, is a Smith & Wesson Model 10, old snub, 6-shot 38. And I remember seeing that movie, and the kid pulls this thing out of the drawer, and it just looks, it's just massive. I mean, granted, it's in a kid's hands. I mean, I have smaller hands, and it's just so it's K-frame 6-shot. And I did not know exactly what it was in the movie. I just knew that, okay, it's a Smith & Wesson, it's a 38, it's a snub nose, and it holds 6 rounds. So I remember calling, and the only guy I knew, he was the only dealer I knew of, because I wasn't and I didn't know anything about firearms. I just knew I saw that in the damn movie and I wanted one. So I remember calling him up and saying, "Hey, man, I want a," and I didn't know anything about the process of buying a firearm. I couldn't tell you anything about it. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, what do I want to know? I want a Smith and Wesson 38 special snub nose 6 rounds." And he said, "Well, they usually only five. They usually only hold the 5 rounders." And he said, "But give me some time. I think I have one that you might. That's what you might be looking for." I said, "Cool." So in a couple days, he called me, said, "Hey, I think I have what you want." So I said, "All right, I'll come down and take a look at it." So I went down to his shop, and there he was with it, and he showed it to me, and that's what he showed me right there. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's like exactly what I want. I want it now." So he had some other accessories and stuff like that. If I remember right, it was like $480. So boom, bought it. So I didn't know the whole process. Now this is how it is on the island. On the island, if you want a handgun, they make you take a handgun safety course class. You have to go do this. Okay, I didn't know any of this. So he ended up being the instructor of this class. So I said, "Oh, perfect." He goes, "You know what? I got the class this weekend. Come down and take the class, and we can do it. We can start knocking down the process." I said, "Okay." So I go and take the class, and I'm thinking after the class, I'm like, "Hey, where's my revolver? I want to take it home." I didn't know the process. So he says, "Well, I got to get you the affidavit and that you completed the class and get it notarized." So since I know you pretty well, and I did, I know him pretty well. He says, you just come by and pick it up. I won't even mail it to you." I said, "Okay." So he did. He said, "I got your affidavit." It was like the next day, I think he did it for me. So I'm thinking, "Give me my revolver." He says, "No, man." He goes, "Now you can take this, and now here's all the information. The Smith and Wesson Model 10-5, caliber 38, serial number 123, whatever." And he goes, "Now you got to go to take this down to the local police department and go get your permit." So I'm like, "All right, I'll be right back." So I go down there, and then so I heard the other guy in the shop say something about, "Oh yeah, a stupid wait period or whatever." I didn't know what he was talking about. So I went down the thing, and yeah, I mean, come. "Oh yeah, we'll give you a call in 10 days." I just was like, "What?" So anyway, I know it's a long-winded story. It was a really weird situation because I wasn't used to any of that. I didn't know what the heck all that meant. So needless to say, from the first time I laid eyes on this thing to the final day that I took it home, it felt like forever. And finally, when I got it and I got it home and everything, I just absolutely I fondled this thing and enjoyed this thing, and it is stiff. It has got the stiffest action on it. Everything is stiff on it. But I have not shot it a whole lot. I have shot it, but it's just one of those that I've always kept. It's mine that I, just kept it. But there it is. So as I'm watching the movie, I'm noticing that I'm saying, why does the one in the movie look so different than what I actually have? Well, much later I realized that in the movie he has this. It's a Smith & Wesson pre-Model 10. And it's got a pencil barrel and a half moon front sight. It's known as a 5-screw. And it did come with the double diamond grips, which meaning it has diamonds on the screw holes. That's the original grips it came with. But in the movie, he's got these standard, more obviously later generation grips on it. So I put those on mine just to match what it is in the movie. And there it is. I actually probably should just go back and find the original grips with the diamonds on and put them back on this thing, just because that's what it came with. But these are two that I have no intentions of selling. I just can't. I've held him for so long, had him for so long that I can't imagine getting rid of him. So, all right, this other one is another one that I can't imagine getting rid of. Although I changed the grips, but this is a Colt 38. This I think this is a detective special or something. This is my uncle's gun. This is my Uncle Melton's gun. And my Uncle Melton passed away. My Uncle Melton was like my best friend. I hung out with him all the time. We did a lot of cool adventures together. I remember he had this, and I was like, I just remember just nagging him. I said, man, I want to buy that. I want to buy that. How'd you get that? I couldn't believe he was shooting it. He was just at the range, just casually shooting it. I'm like, don't be shooting that thing, man. It's like a collector's item. And so, anyway, yeah, right before I left the island and came out here, and we were drinking iced tea on the patio area. And he came out and tossed this zipper bag on the table and says, "Make sure you take that with you when you go." And it was this gun. And I actually told him, I said, "I can't do that. I don't want to take that from you." And he says, I'll never forget. He told me, if you knew him, this was typical of him. He says, "What are you going to do? Throw that in my casket?" That is typical Uncle Melton. I can laugh about it now because that was the way he is. That was the way he was. All right. Well, speaking of Colts, which I thought that was kind of interesting that I ended up with a couple more, where I have more Colts, which it wasn't the case back when I was buying a lot of these. This is a Colt Detective Special. It's an earlier styled one. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's like a first edition or not. Don't care really. I just cared about it because of the outline of it. You see that? See that profile? The exposed ejector rod and all that weird front sight and all that. So I just wanted this because of that, because of the way it looked. It's old school, really old school. I remember trying to get one. And my friend that had that shop, or I asked him for one, and he had some, but he didn't have these ones. He had a later, more newer generation one, and I wanted the old one. So I ended up finding this on Gun Broker, and he brought it in for me. Still was a cool guy. He brought it in for me, and so there it is. And I've had it all these years. I have not shot this. Can you believe that? I have not shot this. I don't think it does shoot. I think something's wrong with it that I can't remember. Because I think I tried to, and it didn't work. So I just kept it. If I'm not mistaken, I did try to shoot it once, and it didn't work. It also got dropped. It got dropped here. You can tell the ejector rod's got a ding in it. And if I recall right, I thought, I must have fixed that. Now it hangs up a little bit. There it is. Okay, the ejector rod got bent, and it does hang up on a little bit right there. See that? So we'll put a little ballast on that and let it go with that. So, but I just always liked it because I really liked the movie French Connection. So, and he carries one like that. So I guess you could say it's a Safe Queen, another one, accidentally, not knowing that. But I would shoot it if I could. Maybe I'll one day get it worked on or something like that. So the other one here is the other really cool one that it was on my list to get for a long time, and it just never came about. The Colt Diamondback 2.5. I call it the Steve McQueen bullet gun because that's where I first fell in love with this thing. I got it outfitted with Deer Hollow grips. Deer Hollow made exact reproductions of the ones that were on it. Was really ratty. I'm glad I replaced them with these good ones here. Shot it once or twice, but this is super cool. I came across this on an auction that was just like too good to pass off. The guy, nobody else bid. I got really lucky on this one. I got really lucky. All right, last one. Last one, and I'll let you guys go. You guys are probably going, my God, he's taking forever. Okay, this one is may not necessarily be considered a snub. So I've heard that before. Some people say that's not a snub. To me, I guess I kind of consider it one because it's a 3-inch. It's a 3-inch barrel. This is covered in ballistol because it doesn't ever really come out. I've shot it. Yeah, I think I've shot it. I've shot it. This is a Model 29. Yeah. Can you believe that? It's a Model 29. It's blue. It's a Lou Horton round butt, 3-inch, 6-shot, 44 Magnum, smooth trigger. Excellent. That is one that I've only saw photos of. I only ever saw photographs of it. I couldn't believe when I first saw that. I couldn't believe they actually made something like that. Was on the hunt for one, but I knew in my mind when I first saw those, I said, he'd never find one. And if he did, it would just be stupid amounts of money. Well, I was at a show, and a guy had this on his table, and I couldn't believe he had one. And I remember seeing it, and I passed on it, and then I went back out another time to see him, and I knew the show was in town. I thought, I wonder if he was going to be there, because he's usually at every single one. He's a dealer, but he always has he has nice Smiths and stuff like that. So I really wasn't sure. So I went and found him. There he was there. I found him. And so I started talking shop with him on it. And we kind of went back and forth a little bit on the price. And I got it for what I thought at the time was, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was an okay price, but nowadays, yeah, it's definitely, I have not seen a whole lot of these. I've seen the stainless one, but not the blue one. Not the blue one all the time. So I've got videos on it on the channel. You can check it out. But yeah, that's one that I just thought, man, that is so cool to have. One that I just don't really see myself parting with because, again, I don't think I'd ever see another one of those. I don't know. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. Going to get out of here. Appreciate it. It's good to be back. Glad to always be hanging out and chatting with you guys. We'll see you next time.